At 61, Jim Carrey sat down for what he called his final interview, a moment the world never expected. The legendary comedian, the man who made millions laugh, finally revealed the truth behind the wild energy that defined his career. For decades, fans suspected there was something darker beneath his explosive comedy. And in 2025, he confirmed it. He admitted he had been on Prozac since the 1980s, fighting what he called a quiet despair. But the most shocking part was what he revealed about his father, Percy Carrey, and the trauma that shaped every character he ever played. Jim Carrey was born on January 17, 1962 in Newmarket, Ontario, the youngest of four kids crammed into a small house where bills piled up faster than dreams. His father, Percy, was a gifted saxophone player who gave up music for a low-paying job at Titan Wheels. His mother, Kathleen, suffered chronic illnesses that kept her in bed most days. Even as a child, Jim understood what fear looked like. He saw it in his father's eyes every time another bill arrived. By 8, Jim had already found escape in the mirror. He spent hours twisting his face into bizarre shapes, discovering characters no one had ever seen before. At 10, he mailed a letter to Carol Burnett, boldly claiming he was already an expert impressionist. When he received a polite form letter back, he taped it to his wall like a trophy. At school, he couldn't resist turning every classroom into a stage. Kids called him Rubber Face, a name that echoed through hallways while his family quietly collapsed behind closed doors. Everything changed in 1975 when Titan Wheels shut down and Percy suddenly lost his job. He sent out more than 70 applications and heard nothing back. Money disappeared, medical bills drained the family, and Percy finally took a janitor job for $4 an hour. Within months, the Carreys lost their home and moved into a yellow Volkswagen camper van near Lake Ontario. Jim and his brothers slept in a tent beside it through brutal Canadian nights, waking with frost on their blankets and washing up in gas station bathrooms before school. By 16, Jim dropped out to work full-time at the factory. He cleaned floors all night for $4.25 an hour, came home at dawn to care for his mother, and used jokes to keep both of them from breaking. But fear never left him. In 1982, that fear became real when he found his father unconscious from a suicide attempt. Paramedics saved Percy, but Jim never forgot that moment. The thought that he might inherit the same darkness haunted him for years. Still, he kept fighting. At 15, Percy drove him to Yuck Yuck's comedy club for his first real show, where he bombed so badly the audience barely clapped. But Percy still smiled with pride on the drive home. At 17, Jim earned his first $20 for a comedy set. At 19, he landed a small role in a Canadian film later renamed Rubberface. It wasn't much, but it was something. With only $100, Jim left Toronto for Los Angeles, sleeping on couches and getting free meals from comedy clubs while performing at the Comedy Store, where legends like Richard Pryor and Robin Williams once ruled. Rodney Dangerfield spotted him one night and invited him on tour, giving Jim the break he desperately needed. Then came 1990, and In Living Color changed everything. On the Fox sketch show, he created unforgettable characters like Fire Marshal Bill, electrifying audiences and becoming the breakout star. But behind the scenes, he pushed his body to dangerous limits, slamming into furniture, twisting his limbs, and performing with reckless intensity. Fame soon tore apart his marriage to Melissa Womer, a woman who knew him before the world did. Then came the legendary year 1994. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber all hit theaters, turning Jim Carrey into a global superstar. He improvised nearly half of Ace Ventura's lines, helped shape the green-faced chaos of The Mask, and limped through injuries on Dumb and Dumber, while delivering some of the most iconic comedy moments in film history. But success wasn't peace. On the Dumb and Dumber press tour, he suffered a breakdown. Fame consumed him. Lawsuits piled up. Anxiety took over. Yet he kept going, diving into powerful performances like The Truman Show, where a storm scene nearly drowned him, and Man on the Moon, where he vanished so deeply into Andy Kaufman that he lost himself. In the end, Jim Carrey's story proved that even the brightest stars carry shadows the world never sees. After decades of fame, heartbreak, and reinvention, he chose peace over applause and purpose over popularity. His journey reminds us that healing is the real victory. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care of your light